Hello, hello, salut, I am the Rasta Witch. Here's where we learn the way of the Yansui Rasta, which is to say, my kind of Ital. Please subscribe and begin your own kind of Yansui witchcraft. All roads lead to Rome. Home. Hello, how you doing? Okay, so this is a pamphlet. My folks went to Jerusalem and they noticed that there was this chapel that belonged to Ethiopia, and so they got it had a pamphlet, and they brought it back for me and thought I'd be interested, and of course I was. The the chapel is something that I take very serious because, well, by now you would know, you'd be able to figure that out. It's called Dabre Sultan. It says, the monastery, reading up there, the monastery of Dabre Sultan, situated on the roof of the St. Helena Chapel, one of the chapels of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, is the oldest and holiest Ethiopian monastery in the Holy Land. This monastery, sadly, has been long in dispute between the Coptic Church and the Ethiopian Church. Literally, its name, or church, period. Literally, its name means the monastery of the ruler. At the far right in green, the northern gate of the monastery. In the background, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. In center, Majabi Mr. Estefanos, one of the former guardians of the monastery, sent during the reign of His Imperial Majesty I, Selassie. So, why this is interesting today, this is exactly what I think they should do in the Holy Land right now, is that they've turned it into this argument of like, is it going to be like a single state or a two-state union and all this stuff? I think they should just, because that doesn't work. These aren't people that can work together in a government, you know. Not everybody can do the unity and diversity thing. So what we learn with Haile Selassie is not, and it shouldn't have to be learned by Haile Selassie, but something we definitely learn in that story is that really the idea of the UN, which is our only hope for peace, is that everybody has a higher loyalty to our national citizenship, you know, our world citizenship. Everybody has a higher loyalty to our world citizenship, you know, and then a secondary loyalty to our national citizenship. See? So like you learn, if you watch my video on the opening of the seventh seal, the silence in heaven, if you can, you know, get your silence in heaven, if you can transcend through the 7 stages of ego development, you'll learn that if you can make it real far, you can get to the 6th stage of ego maturity, where you become human-centric, you know, where you see all humanity as one, you know, and that's more like where we need to do it. The 7th stage, of course, is ecocentric, where you're one with the rock, the tree, the mountain, and the whole universe, you know. But you know, so that's what's needed here is both Israel and Hamas and the Palestinians. Everybody needs to forget their nation and their religion and look at the bigger picture, which is the international, you know, to handle things through the UN, not through your country and not through your military, but through the UN, you know. It's war is actually legal with the UN, but they're breaking those laws too by attacking the civilians. So what I think they should do is not try to have, because they're not going to be able to do, one country, and call it a nation, and then they just work with each other. I just don't think that's going to work. What needs to happen is Hamas needs to be given their area, the Palestinians their area, and Israel their area, and and then each person govern their own area. Don't have one government, but just have, there's your space, that's your country, your rules, your government. Knock yourself out. The UN will watch over them and make sure they do things right, is the idea. And then then Israel will do the same thing and have their space. Predictably, Israel will get every time they've tried to do this in the past, Israel gets the bigger portion, So Israel will get the bigger portion. Congratulations. But then also what's needed is something like this, in wherever there's a building that, is sacred to the Palestinian, to Muslims. If there's a Muslim building that's sacred or something, or relevant to them, then just like how Ethiopia has their own building in the Holy Land, let the Palestinians, let the Muslims, would be the better word, because it would be a Muslim thing, let the Muslim faith take care of their building. If there's a building, Israel should, if Israel gets their nation, gets their land, and gives and recognizes that all people need a space, and Hamas and the Palestinians get their space, then don't make it a concentration camp and rule over it and mind your own business. That's their space. Let them have their own government, their own money if they want, just however they want to do it, and let them do that. And then on top of that, if they have any buildings or sacred places in your thing, obviously let them run that and have it, and let them peacefully be able to manage it and have their pilgrims come and go to it and everything like that, It's just common sense. If you don't do that, then there'll still be problems. Everybody needs a space, and then everybody needs their holy spot. It doesn't need to be a contest. Narcissists make everything out to be a competition, and they also, one of the stages of ego is where you think who you are is what you own, So I'll leave a link in the description box to the video about transcending the 7 stages of ego, It's egocentric to need a land, The Zionists are out of line. That's not really what the Bible, it doesn't make any sense according to the scripture, but that's a different argument, That just doesn't make sense. It's a failed prophecy or something, why do they need that much space? They just need enough space. They need access to their places, which is the same thing the Palestinians need, So it's the only thing that could possibly work in a world like this is more of a secular look at everything, like looking at everything from an international perspective is a secular look at it, As soon as your highest loyalty is to your nation, which is not being non-secular, there's going to be problems, or because you're going to have to force everybody into that,